All right, well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kevin.
I'm Tarsha.
And this is, of course, Conversations with the Crawleys, where we have conversations about faith, family relationships, and some of our favorite TV shows. So if that's content that you enjoy, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button. Hit the like button and request notifications. And we will, of course, see you where? In the comments.
In the comments.
Again, go ahead. I've got a book out. I haven't done a lot about it, but I've got a book out. There's a link in the description. And it's kind of applicable to one of the people that we're talking about. It's a book called Stunted Growth, where I deal with some of the things that may help you, may have caused what I call stunted growth, which is trauma that happens in your life that may not have been healed, right?
Right.
So definitely do me a favor. Go ahead and in the comments, get it on Kindle or just get a paperback book, all on Amazon. And I definitely would appreciate it. All right.
All right.
So, of course, we're talking about the latest episode of Put a Ring on It.
Let's go ahead and get the other couples out of the way.
We're going to talk about the other couples, even though the bulk of it was dedicated to Darien and Alexia, right? So one of the things is, let's deal with Erica and Jess. Okay. Eric and Jessica. All right. So couple of things with them is that they have the assignment of trying to kind of what they envision as far as marriage.
Right.
What do they see as far as how their marriage will go?
Right.
Even down to details of, wedding destination, stuff like that. So
how they want to see their wedding.
And I think that that's a good thing. That's to get them on the same page, but also thinking about what does this look like for us?
The future holds.
Right. His parents are not married, so he's talking about how he doesn't really have that example in front of him, right? One of the things that came up during their conversation, though, was that Jessica was upset about him not celebrating her for Mother's Day.
Right.
And I'm gonna just say this. I want to know what you all think in the comments, because I'm about to lay it out for me, right?
Okay.
So they don't have kids together.
No, they don't.
Right. She has two kids.
And he has at least one.
Right. So they have kids by other people.
Correct.
Right. So
she couldn't see her kids.
She couldn't see her kids. Right.
Mother's Day.
And he did say he tried to put something together, but it didn't pan out, what have you.
Right.
Don't know how much effort he put into it. Right.
Right.
So you can fault him for that.
Right.
I'm looking at it, though, saying, okay, your kids aren't by me. So it's really incumbent upon the father of your children to coordinate. If they're with the father, it's up to the father of the children to coordinate.
To have the children to give something.
Because Jessica's not his mama.
Right. We got to talk about this all the time.
She's not his mama. Right?
Right.
So with our kids, I help coordinate.
Right.
And I appreciate her as the mother of my children because she's the mother of my children.
Right. Right.
But if I were in a situation where there's somebody else and I'm bonus dad.
Right.
It's not incumbent upon me.
Right.
To coordinate that.
Right.
Right?
Right. I hear what you're saying. I can't argue with that.
Okay. But let us know in the comments what you think. 'Cause I know some may think, well, he was wrong for it. I don't think he was wrong for it.
I think maybe he tried and he tells her he tries, but he don't do anything. So I guess it's in between that. So you might as well say, well, I'm not planning on trying. I'm not doing anything for you. So your expectations shouldn't be coming from me. Whoever's with your kids should have been planning something. He
made the effort when the effort really was not incumbent upon him.
Right. That's what he did.
Right.
All right.
And so they do talk about whether or not, and the part of that conversation comes up because they talk about whether or not they want to have kids as a couple.
Right.
And he's talking about how, the kids that he had, one or two kids that he does have while he was playing football. So he missed out on some time as far as
some moments.
Right. So he wants to have a son.
He wants to relive that.
Yeah.
How you know you're going to have a son? And I agree with Jessica because that's where we are now. So Jessica's like, my kids are like elementary school, about to go junior high. They're going to be gone in 10 years. And you're going to have by then, we're going to have another 10-year-old, which we got another 8, 9 more years while they're in the house. Jessica like, I'm done. I had 2 kids. I don't want to put my body through that. I don't want to spend the energy and the effort it takes to raise a child. And he's like, I want to stay home. I'll stay home with it. If it's son, no. Nah, brother man, you might as well just say, if it's a child we're giving birth to,
Yeah.
if it's a puppy we're giving birth to, guess what?
Okay.
You're taking care of it. The point is, whatever we're having that's responsible for it, he has to make the decision. He's going to take care of it.
Right. He does say he doesn't see himself marrying someone who doesn't want to have a child.
Right. So somebody they're going to have issues.
So it sounds like Jessica needs to find the next football player.
Shut up.
I ain't saying she a gold digger, but she ain't messing with... Okay, anyway.
You have to go to the right.
Listen.
I can hear the music. Warming up.
Mm-hmm. She gave me money. All right. So that's pretty much for them, right?
Yeah,
I think that was it for them.
Oh, she went on a date.
Oh, yeah.
She did have another date.
The third date with Sean.
Yes, and they went to I Fly, and and they were flirtatious and blah blah blah. So we'll see. She talked about she wanted to get more in depth, but I didn't hear anything get deep in those conversations.
You have to be deep to go deep.
Ooh, boy, we cutting deep.
Y'all know I'm not a fan of Jessica.
Ooh, boy, we cutting deep too.
And since I'm not a fan of Jessica, we kind of talked about this.
What?
What's up with the baby hair?
Ooh, and then you're going for the baby hair? Leave the baby hair alone. Just let it lay.
I'll leave it alone. I'll let it lay. We'll leave it alone. We'll
let it lay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Keep it moving. Wow. You want something there? What did you have to drink?
Listen. All right. So then LaRonda and Sean, they have a good discussion as far as their marriage ideals.
Yes.
Now, they do kind of agree that they want like a nation of kids.
Shut up. Did you say a nation? They said a basketball team. So let's leave it
at basketball team is 5, or a basketball squad is 5.
Yeah.
They want 7. They want a nation.
You got to have some subs.
Okay. Yeah.
You got to sub them in.
But he want that. But unless he signed on to do what? Rush Hour 4 Friday after next Friday.
His stand-up ain't going to support 7 kids.
Listen.
And some foster kids or some adopted kids. Yeah,
because she wants to adopt. So I applaud the fact that she's like, look, I want to adopt kids. Because that is, I think, something in our community that is vital or is, commendable, right?
Right. So, I mean, and that's good to talk about, right? You need to talk about how many children you want to have. Where now the part about getting married, though, she wants a very small and intimate wedding,
and he wants a destination wedding. He inviting Dr. Nicole and
his whole chapter.
He wants his frat line as all of his groomsmen.
He wants 13 groomsmen. Why? I mean, I've seen big weddings like that. Now, to get all of those men and women fitted, get them all on the same page, all of them come in at the same time, that's a full-time job.
Right.
Getting 2 people to show up and get...
And, for me, I'm just like, it's overkill. That's the way I look at it, right?
Yeah, but...
For our wedding, I had, my brother and I had, 2 or 3 other guys.
That's what I'm saying. There was only a total of 3 people.
And even those guys were not close. They weren't like my best friends from a long time ago.
Right.
Just because of the logistics, right?
Right, and where we were located, so...
But 13 men to stand with you means 13 women to stand with her.
That's a lot of people. And you haven't even... it's just a lot. But it's their wedding. They can do...
But LaRonda don't want that.
No.
She I want it small. I want it intimate.
Right. Our closest friends.
I don't need the entire university and the Divine 9 all with us, right? So that's the one thing. Now, she did go on another date with Derek.
Yes, she went on another date with Derek. And they seem to be getting along, you kind of see what he knows, what he wants.
Yes.
It's very direct.
Right.
So, and he's a corporate professional. So
they match off of career, kind of where they are in life in some respects.
Yeah.
He's a little older than her, and she's made that comment before.
Yes.
But she also said in this one that she likes his maturity. So it may be partly because of Sean and his comedian and entertainer that sometimes that could wear a little thin. Don't know, right?
Right.
But she does make the comment that she does like his maturity. So the fact that he's a few years older is not a bad thing for her.
And he states that he still wants to be married.
So. Yeah. So, now on to this couple.
Oh yeah, let's go ahead.
Alexia and Darien.
Yeah.
So we pick back up with Darien and Kai kind of having their conversation,
Correct.
right? And Darien had, I called it a Holy Ghost buck. Because when she said you wasn't saying that when you slept me, he was like, like he felt the quickening, like
she got in the gut. She hit him in the gut. She was like, she just did like a right hook to the gut, the kidney.
And he was like, it reminded him of how good Alexia was. Let me just say this. Don't say I slept with you and I slept with you, but as I was sleeping with you, it reminded me of how good I had it over here.
Right.
Because would you take that as an insult?
I would, but she didn't even, I think it went over her head. She was kind of like dagger eyed, like, you messed me over. And let's kind of talk about that for a minute. So, someone's in a relationship.
Right.
They indicate to you that they're in love with this person, but they're having problems. She gets a call. Hey, come over to the condo.
The doghouse.
And she stays for 2 days, as she indicates. It was 2 days over at the condo. She's thinking, well, maybe something I have, my magic is going to work on him to change her mind. So she had a 50-50 shot.
The golden.
Hey, and she decided to take charge and see if it was going to work his magic. And she had a 50-50 chance, of it working out. And she ended up getting her feelings hurt at the end, you know. Maybe she felt like it was worth the hit. I mean, but at the end, she wanted the prize.
Yeah.
So we have to take that in account, even from her side, that she took a chance on seeing that, hey, he's going to leave her for me.
Yeah.
And all the times that don't work when we talk about doing it physically,
right.
We're thinking that something we may connect sexually, that's going to make a man change his mind.
Right.
I feel like when a man is in love, even with all the problems in the world he has, and even attachment if they have kids, that most of the time mentally they'll stay with that woman and go through that, and they'll offer you all they want without making the commitment to leave for that woman.
Yeah.
So,
and then she starts getting a little messy.
She tried.
She's like, "Oh, let's go and call her now.
Since you haven't told her yet.
Let's
make it a 3-way call.
Call it right now.
Conference
call.
Go and
do it."
And he was like, "We're not doing that. I'm going to talk to her in my time and do that." So I'm like, okay, now you want to man up,
right,
and be in control. When you lost control. And she was like, fine.
And she says she got her closure.
Yep.
Now, we have a thought, and let us know in the comments what you think. Because we think that she may have, somehow she got message to production or Dr. Nicole. And they were like, oh, yeah, we definitely got to do this. All right. So let's see. Because it was, granted, this was the first of the 2 seasons that have gone this many dates, right?
Right.
And so it was unusual to have this assignment of going to get closure.
Right.
So that leads some of us to think that maybe they knew. She made a call.
She let some production.
Or maybe one of the producers, cameraman, was following him around and was like, hey,
I got this extra footage.
She's been here for 2 days. So then Alexia meets with Dr. Nicole by herself.
Correct.
First, right?
Yes, I think that's good.
And I think that was vital. I think that was very helpful.
Yeah.
Because she says she feels the process did help her to see some things.
Correct.
Right. And that I just found it kind of not funny because of the situation, but some of the cut scenes where she's doing her interviews, it looks like she had funeral clothes on.
Well, at the very end, especially that last visit, because she's wearing black, and everything. And she did seem like she said, I'm grieving the loss of a friend.
Right.
which anytime you're in a relationship and it ends, it is grief.
Yeah.
You know, even though someone didn't physically die, your relationship
Especially
died.
again, bear in mind, this is 14 years.
14
Off and on, whatever it might be.
You want to put it.
It's still 14 years of possibility coming to an end.
Right.
With the crash of, no, we're not continuing this, right?
Especially when you decide to make it, I'm going to go through this process on national TV.
Right.
Because I'm at my last straw and I really want to help. And again, they have to go through a lot of process even to get on the show.
Right.
So I could imagine the hurt, you know, behind this.
And so one of the things that I thought was great that Dr. Nicole asked her, she was like, okay, she asked basically who's loving on Alexia, right? Because she was like, Darien, of course, is looking out and loving on himself. Alexia, you're loving Darien and loving on him. But who's taking care of Alexia, which is a great thing. Because again, then it gives Alexia time to really say, okay, what is it that I want? What is it that I need?
Right.
And getting what I want and what I deserve out of a relationship.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So then, of course, they all come together with the couples to have their...
You didn't want to talk about their conversation first, Darien?
Oh, yeah. Darien and Alexia did meet. Yeah. That's right. They did meet with Dr. Nicole.
Right.
Just the two of them with Dr. Nicole.
Correct.
And he acknowledges he violated her trust. He said that Kai was a stress reliever.
Right. Right.
You got to find better ways to...
I thought he smoked weed. I'm like... I'm assuming he was in a group. There are a lot of ways you could relieve your stress.
Yes.
Without getting you to the point where you could lose a potential mate.
Right.
And they had such a high for those 2 weeks. It's like you put in all the effort after you screw up to make a decision to
violate trust.
Yes.
To sabotage the relationship.
Yes.
Right. And he even says he feels that they were moving forward.
Right.
They were moving towards a good space.
Right.
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 But he let his lesser nature, if you will, get the best of him.
Yeah.
Right. And definitely he messed up big time.
Oh, he messed up where he was like, I want to come home. It's like, bro, you going back to the condo.
Yeah.
And this is not just for a weekend.
That's where you live in now.
You better be glad you didn't sell that.
And if it did go through, you better see if you can get it out of escrow and everything. Listen.
Right.
But one thing I found interesting was that even as he was, there were times when you look at her, she was like really cold towards him. But there was one moment, and let me know if you saw it, where she wiped away his tears as he was like crying, whatever. Yeah. So she does still care. She still loves him. You can't cut it off completely, right?
Right. She still loves him.
But it's like, I'm glad that she's taking the thought for herself to say, I'm not going to put myself back into this toxic and unhealthy thing.
Right.
And he even realized that he has not found himself yet.
No.
Right.
And that's hard when you're talking about you're a 40-year-old. I'm assuming he's in his late 30s, 40s.
Probably, yeah.
And you still are not at the point of growth where you can recognize you need maturity.
Stunted growth. Go get the book.
Yes. Good segue, babe.
Yeah. All right.
I got so, they leave. And then they do have a group session.
Right.
And again, Alexis comes in just to kind of share what happens.
Yeah.
And you can tell that the other couples are just as saddened about what has occurred, you know. But they kind of move on, you know, and Dr. Nicole explained that. But I wonder, before something happened, they kind of ask the people how they feel about what they think about it. And I know maybe this might have been a thing in front of them. Right. But it's like, well, how do you feel about possibly this could be happening to your relationship, you know? Because it is when you see people start to fumble or lose shape, you go, so if you going to go on a date and something's going to happen, or are you going to decide to, and we see something in the next coming clips.
Yeah, because of the two couples that are left, I think that's more of a Jessica Eric thing than a Sean and Laronda thing.
Right.
I think because Sean has at least, and we've kind of gotten on him about this, but Sean has at least been like, look, I'm going to go so far close to the edge, and I'm going back completely away.
Right.
And his close to the edge is still 100 yards away.
Right. Right.
He like, I'm not getting close to that.
I ain't going to even see over the edge.
Whereas Eric seems to, especially as we look at the clip, he like, look.
He keeping it low key.
He looking over that edge like,
he low key
and looking back at the fake baby hairs. And,
stop.
All right, I'm gonna leave it alone.
Leave it alone.
I'm gonna stop.
Stop.
All right. So that's kind of where things are. Oh, one thing that I did forget, Sean and Laronda had a conversation, which I think is a great conversation, which we'll probably do a relationship tip on, which was, is divorce an option?
Ooh, that's good. Talking about that ahead of time.
Yeah, because you have to know if you're going into this with the potential that you're going to entertain the idea of divorce, then you have to know that, right?
Yes.
We made a decision early on.
We did talk about
we're not going to entertain divorce as an option.
Correct. We don't say the D word.
Right.
That's the D word we don't say in our house.
Yeah.
Because if we bring it up as a weapon, then either you're going to use the weapon or it should never been brought to the table.
Because I've said, and you can verify this.
Right.
I've said, if she ever comes through with divorce papers, there's no arguing about it. I'm signing. Why? Because for us, the way we've operated is if we've gotten to the point where that's the next step,
correct,
then that means at least one of us has tried to exhaust everything we can think of to try and avoid that.
Correct.
So
because then it's like we don't say it, and that means you're ready to have those conversations. And so that also sets that boundary for you. It's like, I know I'm very pissed off. I know I'm tired of this. I know I'm coming to my wit's end. You are challenging my boundary right now.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's important because I think a lot of couples don't think about that. We're just going to be so positive. We're going to be just so happy. We're not going to even think about that. No, you need to talk about it.
You got to have that conversation up front, right? Or you're going to have it 6 days after you marry. Simply put. All right. I think that's it.
That's it.
All right. So again, let us know in the comments what you think. We will see you in our next video. Have a great one. Be blessed.
Bless. Peace.
All right.